So hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Juraj Mojik. I'm one of the developers here at Resco, and I will show you the new features of Resco Mobile CRM 7.2. We have about 20 to 30 minutes for this webinar, so it won't take long, and there will be also the second part next week. I'm quite astonished with the interest for today's webinar. There are quite a lot of you joining, and we have a lot of people on, but all of you are muted, so you can hear only myself and you cannot ask questions via audio. But for the questions, feel free to go to the questions section of GoToWebinar and write your questions there. If there will be time at the end of the webinar, I will answer the questions. If there won't be time, don't worry, we'll answer your questions via email later. So please, if you have anything in mind, just ask a question. Also, what I want to say is that this webinar is being recorded, and if you are interested in the recording or in the slides which I will be using through the webinar, then we can make them available for you. Just ask through our email channels and we can send you the links. Okay, I think we are ready to start, so let's go through today's agenda. So the first thing which we will go through is the classic overview of Resco Mobile CRM. For those of you who are just starting with our solution, who haven't seen it yet, then this will go through the very basics, and then we will go through the new features of version 7.2. Version 7.2 is the latest at the moment, and here are the features I will go through in today's webinar. So color themes, copy and paste support for attachments, resizing of images, and enhancements in the chat area, especially the multimedia support. So let's start with the overview of Resco Mobile CRM. If you don't know us, we offer online and more offline mobile solution for Microsoft Dynamics CRM with great user experience and consistent UI on all the platforms. And this is actually quite interesting because with this version, with version 7.2, the UI is more consistent than ever. We actually redesigned the UI for example, Windows 7 application. So now it looks much more like the iPad application or the Android application. To customize the application, you can use a tool which is called Woodford, which actually offers customizations without much coding. So that's quite easy to do. Our application is available on basically most of the mobile platforms which are out there, iOS, Androids, and all of the Windows platforms, phones, tablets, basically whatever you have. Free versions of these applications are available on the app stores and marketplaces, so you can just download them for free and start using them. But if you want to customize the application, you will need a tool which is called Woodford, which is a configuration tool, and you will see bits of this configuration tool in today's webinar as well. So let's take a look at the features in the latest mobile CRM version 7.2. This one was released on 25th of June, so something like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it's quite fresh. And there are, again, as always, quite some new features. You can divide them into some areas like documents and images, design changes, changes in business logic, platform-specific changes, and synchronization. There are some big things, big topics like SharePoint integration, which you will see in the next webinar next week. But also for documents and images, things like resizing, multimedia support, and so on. In the design, we have changed the charts to the HTML5 technology, so now they look a little bit different. We think it's nicer and more attractive. And again, you will see me showing you these new features in the HTML5 charts next week. This week, we will go through the color themes, and that's more or less it. for today, but obviously there is a lot of new features in this version. So let's start and take a look at the first feature, which I want to go through today, and this one is the color theming of the application. This is a requirement which we got from you, from our partners and customers, to be able to customize the color theme of the application a little bit better. So far, you were available to change one application color. This color was just one, so you could change it and brand it to the customer's color. But right now, we give you much more powerful options to change almost every color in the application. So you can change the color scheme of the application, and you can do this for all the platforms, or you can target one specific platform. If Windows 8 or Windows RT is your platform, please notice that some of the customizations in this area are quite limited. Basically, you can't change the colors of the background, so that's something you cannot do on Windows RT. However, on all the other platforms, you can customize almost anything, starting from the home form colors to lists and forms and colors there. You can change text colors, list background, foreground colors, even selected row color, and even search bar, title bar, and tab bar. I think it's best to show you this, so let's switch to our customization tool, Woodford, and start customizing the colors. So again, I will start with a clean new project, hitting new. Let's call this one color project. Select system administrator because that's the role of the test user I'm using, and create this new project. Okay, now I have the new project created. I will open it. As always, as with every new version of our application, there is a new version of our Resco Woodford customization tool. And as always, there are new customizations options here in the main project area. Now what we have new is this color theme section. So this is how it looks like, and I will start my customization with enabling this checkbox, Show Color List. And here you can see all the colors available for customizing or for theming in Woodford. It starts from form colors, so form background, form item colors, and so on, to list colors, list background, and so on, to search, tab bar, and title bar colors. You can just select one of the colors, then you will see an editor like this. And when you select the color, you can change it in a very visual way to see to what you are changing it. Obviously, these names aren't that user-friendly, so you might not immediately know which color means which moves us to the second area where you can see these colors in action. And moreover, when you click on these panels, you can actually change the color. So when I click here on the top, I can change the color of the title background, so title bar background. I can move it to something like, I don't know, this, and you can see it's immediately reflected here. Actually, any item I click, I can change the color. So now I can change, for example, also the color of the title foreground, so of the text on the title bar. I can change the color of the text on the lists, or even on the forms. I can even change the form background to something like very black. I will now click here, load preset, and this actually reverts my customizations, my wild customizations, to the default state. I imagine that with the next versions we will have more presets, like something like a light theme or a dark theme or themes with some specific colors. For now, this just resets the customizations to the default state. Another useful switch here is this one, show platforms, because right now you can see I'm customizing this for all the platforms, but when I check this checkbox and move here, you can see that I have all the platforms and I can target just one platform specifically. But let's get back to the all platforms customization and let's try to perform some meaningful customization of the color theme. For that, I would like to draw your attention also to the palette, which is here on the bottom, which contains all the colors used within the color theme. And the interesting thing is that each color is in the palette is just once, or it's used distinctly. So now you can see that, for example, tab background, the selected color, or title background color, or list selected background is actually the same color. If I click here in the title bar, you can see that now this is actually the first color from the palette. The same goes for a different color, list selected background color. Again, that's the first color from the palette, and the same applies for the tab color. And now the useful thing, when I go into the palette and change this color to yellow, so something like this, I'm sorry, like this. Let me move it a bit brighter. Okay, you can see that all the occurrences of this color were changed to white. Also, when I click here, you can see that this is a different color from the palette, but I can now move to, for example, black. Here are some of the colors predefined, so we can switch to red, brown, or something which is predefined in here. Also, if I go here and go for some completely new color, please notice that when I select this new color, it will be added to palette, so I can change it if I want to do that later. So okay, let me change one more color. For example, on the link items, I would like to make this one, for example, something like this, violet, and let's change this one, the disabled items color, to something like this. Okay, I'm done with my customization, so I will now save what I've done and publish my project. And now I will switch to the mobile application. Actually, I will switch to an application which mirrors the actual screen of the iPad, and I will switch to it right now. Okay, just a sec. I'm afraid that you are not seeing the application at the moment. Let me quickly try to do and reset the application which I'm using for that. Okay, here we are. So this is the application, and you might know this application very well, and you also might notice that these are the standard application colors with the standard list and the standard form. So now when I synchronize with my server to apply the project, the application is switched to the different color scheme. Okay, so now you should be seeing the application in white with the title bar, selected list row with white, as well as the top bar here on the bottom in white. In yellow. Also, we can check that the search bar is black, which means that, again, my color theming was applied and everything was done successfully. Okay, I think you've got the idea of customizing the color themes. So let me switch back to my presentation and continue with the next topic for today, which is copying and pasting of the attachments. And this is actually quite an interesting feature because this offers an option to take attachment on OneNote, copy it and paste it to another attachment or to another note. So when there is a PDF file, document, you want to move it from one note to another, you can do that here. So it works well within the mobile CRM application of all the platforms. However, it also works on some of the platforms outside mobile CRM application. So for example, on Windows 7, it uses the standard clipboard, which means that you can just take a picture, take a document from mobile CRM application and paste it to any application, any other application on Windows 7. And vice versa. You can take any document from another application, copy it there, and just paste it into the mobile CRM. For iOS, we support pictures in the very same way. So you can take pictures from mobile CRM and paste it to another application, for example, an email client, and vice versa. On all the other platforms like Android and similar, we do not offer this outside copy and paste functionality. We only offer that within the mobile CRM application. One note for the iOS, we are working on a feature which offers copying and pasting of all the documents, and I've seen it already, and it will be included in the next release, so in version 7.3, which should come later in the fall. So how does copy and paste look like within the application itself? It's actually a copy and paste command on the form, which is automatically available on the notes, so there no setup is needed, just you can just use it right away with the latest version. Or it can be set up for the media tabs. If you are using media tabs, you can set up this feature there. Okay, so I think it would be the best to show you this feature. So again, I will switch to the mobile application. Okay, so here we are. I'm still working with the customized version with the colors, but nothing else is customized. So let me go through to one of the accounts, a test, which actually has a couple of notes associated, a PDF, a document, and a PNG. Let me take a look at those. So here is a PDF document. Here is a Word document, and here is a PNG file, which is actually a screenshot of our GPS tracking functionality. Right now, when I go back to the PDF and select here on the top, there is this command section. When I click on that, I have now the option to copy this attachment. Now I can go to any other account, select the notes, create a new note, switch to attachment, and hit paste. And here it is, the PDF document which I have copied. Similarly, what I can do, I can go for the Word document, I can copy it, and let's go to the contacts, a test contact, let's go to the notes, and here is a note which is already filled in, but I can still rewrite its content, so I can clear this one and paste the document in there. Finally, I want to go to the PNG file, which I have here, and copy it. I have it copied, but now I can jump out of the mobile CRM application and open, for example, the email application. I will create a new email, and here in the body of my email I will tap and hold, which will now open this menu. And I can select paste, and here it is, an image copied from the mobile CRM application into another application, email client. Let's try the opposite way as well. So let me go into the Photos application, and let's select, for example, this screenshot. I see that I have again problem with my application for mirroring. Let me just restart it back. Okay, I see that my mirroring application is really not trying to cooperate with me today. So let me switch quickly to my backup plan, which is the Windows 8 application. I will switch to that, and hopefully you will see these features within the Windows 7 environment. So let's run the application, and let me just quickly set up the application. So here is the application. It's the same application running on Windows 7. I do apologize for the technical difficulties, so we will have to continue with this application instead. So what I was showing so far, I was showing you the copy and paste functionality, which I showed you from inside and outside of the mobile CRM application. So let me move forward with the next topic, which is the image resizing. Let me restart my PowerPoint as well. So about the image resizing. So you might have noticed that when I was showing you the commands on the copy and paste functionality, that there was one more command, resize image. This one actually offers options to change the size of the image. There are some of the options, you can see them on the screen. Basically, you can always just downscale the image, so resize to a smaller size. If you have a smaller size image, you cannot really enlarge that image. That's not available here. But you can always downscale, which effectively changes or lowers the actual size of that image, which might be really useful when you are taking pictures with your devices and you don't want to take too large pictures to really limit the connection and so on. It's automatically available on Notes, and again can be set up for the media tabs. So let me switch back to the Windows 7 application and show you how this looks like within the app. So here we are. I will select the accounts. Again, go, for example, into the A-test account. Go into the notes and open the PNG. And when I select here the commands, again, there is the copy command, but now I'm more interested into the resize image. And depending on the size of my image, there are the options. I can only change the size of this image to a smaller one, so to 640 times 480. And now, when I would try to resize the image even more, this is actually not possible. Now the resize image option or command is not available at all. Okay, let me try that on a different node. So let's add a new node and choose picture. Let me see if I have something in here. So for example, this GPS tracking screenshot. Again, depending on the size of the image, here are the options. Very simple functionality which can save you a lot of traffic when it comes to it. One small note is that in the setup, depending on the platform, in the setup there is the maximum image size option. So depending on your selection here, the image will come from the camera in this exact size. So this means that if you have this option enabled, then your images will be automatically minimized to that particular size. So these two commands or these two settings take effect at the same time. Okay, I think that resizing images is quite simple and quite straightforward. So let me move to the final topic for today, which is the chat, the social feature, and its enhancements. If you haven't seen Resco Chat or Resco Social feature, then I would recommend you checking out my previous webinar about the version 7.1 and its new features, where the chat was introduced. But for now, just a very quick introduction. It's a social feature, something like a forum functionality, allowing users to post, comment, or even follow specific entities, which means that the user can follow, for example, an opportunity, and then can see what other users are posting and commenting on that opportunity. So we have enhanced the chat from the previous version a bit, and the first thing which we added was an option to add attachments to a post. These are actually notes, attachments to notes, so basically all the functionality you are familiar with, like adding pictures, adding audio, or adding video, is available there. There is an option now to tag an entity, as you might be familiar with from Facebook and so on. So basically provide you a link to a specified record so the users can view it right away from the chat. Finally, there is one enhancement on the My Wall section, where you can switch to another user's wall right from there. So let me very quickly go to the Resco Woodford, set up this, and show you this functionality, because I see that we are getting really low on time. So here I will just enable the chat feature. I will go onto the home and add the chat there as well. And I will do one more thing, because for the My Wall, the new feature, I also need to enable system user entity. So I will be able to choose which user's wall I want to see. And that's it. I can just publish my project and switch back to the mobile application. So here we are. I'll synchronize the app to get the latest changes. Application was updated, excellent. And here is the new section, My Wall. Right now you should be quite familiar with this, so I will just go through the new features. There are these two new buttons available. One is for attaching an attachment. When I click on that, I can select a file, for example, so I can attach any file to my, so for example, this one, the barcode, I can attach that to the post, and I can also write something about it, like a barcode. Then I can submit my post. Another new button is this one, to tag an entity. So for example, I can say something like, hey, check this opportunity. And I can add an entity. I can change that to be the opportunities, and I can select one of the opportunities. Again, I can now submit my post, and when I click on this link, I can immediately see that opportunity. I can do the same thing for a comment, so now I cannot really post images as comments, but I can always tag another entity in the command. I also mentioned that there is the improvement on the wall. So now, right now, I'm seeing only my wall, but if I switch to the other user, I have enabled the system user entity just for this. So right now, I can select which of the actual users, for example, myself. Now I'm seeing the wall of this particular user. I can even follow this, so I will be updated about whatever and whoever is posting something on my wall. Okay, so right now I think we went through all the features I wanted to go through today. I really do apologize for the technical difficulties. I hope that the next time and for the next webinar this won't happen. The second part of the new features will be at the same time next week, so 23rd of July, the same time. And the features which we will go through is the SharePoint integration, additional filtering, which is actually quite a cool feature with a very bad name, and some useful things like copying attributes from related records. I will also show you the improvements which are there on the HTML5 charts and what this means for your applications. So, thank you very much for joining us today. If you have any questions, would like to obtain a copy of this webinar or this presentation, just drop us a line on mobilecrm@resco.net. And I will be glad if you would join us the same time next week for the second part of the new features. Thank you very much.